Hello YouTube, this is Z-Manzilla, and I was recently asked a question and asked specifically if I could go over some things to do with teleporters, basically how they work and some fun things you can do with them. So I've set up a couple of demonstrations here that I would love to show you. Shall we take a look? Why, yes we will. Okay, so what I've done is I've set up three spawn idiot buttons here. So, they all say basically the same thing, spawn idiot. So these are going to spawn idiots, all of whom will be using a teleporter function in one way or another to enter the finally enter the field battle. Now what I've done, you can't see it because it's invisible right now because we're in the player, is that I've hooked these up so that each one is hooked up to a monster spawner. They're going to spawn an unwilling. All right, and upon spawning the unwilling will be sent to a teleporter. So basically, the instant they spawn up, they go through the teleporter to wherever I've put the teleport destination. So I'm not revealing them for reasons I'll make clear later. So anyway, spawn idiot number one. Idiot number one is currently being sent to a teleporter that is on the ground. It's just a teleporter that's sitting someplace else. All right, so the spawner's in one place, the teleporter's in another, and it shows up at the teleporter. Notice what happens. You can see the spawned thing over there, and then he teleports over there. All right, so idiot here is my test subject. What happens is the spawner, the actual spawn node thing, is right about here. That's why you saw that red flare sort of come up. That was the teleport effect. And then, of course, you see the blue teleport effect, or that the spawn effect is red. The blue is the teleport effect. It ended up over here instead. It was almost there. It was there almost no seconds. All right, for this second idiot, I have taken the teleporter and I've moved it up into the air. Okay, so the teleporter is just floating in the air. You can basically put teleport destinations anywhere you want. So what happens when we spawn this idiot? Okay, well, there's his generator, which is on the ground, but boom, he comes up from the air and he just comes right down. So, and you'll see that again. Just watch carefully. Spawn up red, blue effect. He actually came up from out of the sky. Thank you, sir. Now imagine you're building a custom geo thing. If you remember, of course, your monster spawners have to touch the ground. Teleporters don't, so you can put them anywhere. So the key to building in custom geo, like to putting monsters in a custom geo environment, is this second teleporter thing. Now, I've done something a little different with this third one. We're going to hot dog it a little bit. I have hooked up the third one so that they teleport into the air and create a cool little effect as they do so. Now check this out. See if you can find that red spawn effect in all of this. None whatsoever, am I right? Okay, so let's look at that again. So you just you look up and boom! Just explosion, dude comes flying out of the sky. Let's see it one more time. Whee! Oh, there you go. That's kind of fun. Let's do that again. Whee! Oh, yeah, see? And it pretty much works anytime I want it to. There you go. See? Just over and over again we could do that. So let's go over how all of this works. Let's go back to the editor. And I'll show you how we did those three things and explain sort of the way that teleporters work and how you can use them to basically get your dudes wherever you want them to. You can have a little fun with it in the process. So, okay, for this first one, first spawn idiot, as you remember, the spawner was over here, and he ended up over here. It works very simple here. You just take your button, and upon use, and by the way, here's the thing: anything can trigger this. You can have it triggered on module entered. You can have it triggered by somebody walks into a switch volume. Anything that triggers an event. Basically, the important part is this spawn encounter thing here. So whatever it is that spawns your encounter, doesn't matter. It can be anything. Anything that spawns encounters can spawn this encounter. And all you're doing is taking your encounter, all right, you go on demon spawned, teleport to. It's just that simple. It's all you got to do is run on demon spawned to a teleport destination. If you're looking for the location of those items, the teleport destination is located under gameplay. Okay, and the spawner, your single demon encounter spawners are under spawners. That's single demon encounter. So, just in case you're wondering where those things are. So, you spawn your demon encounter, you send them immediately to a teleporter. Now, that's all you got to do. and it works. What happens though is, as you recall, on spawning, it tried to do that spawn effect, that red flower spawn effect thing that, that comes up for like a second, and it takes there's like a 1 second delay, and then it sends it to the teleporter with that sort of blue teleporty effect. There you go, All right. And exact same principle in play right here, because you can take a teleporter destination and put it anywhere, and it will send the demon directly to that spot once it teleports. The reason why you can't just put one of these anywhere, obviously, you look at it, it's all red. That's because it has to touch this nav mesh. See that slight green glow, that sort of green gritty glow that's going on right there on the bottom? That's called your nav mesh. And what that is that's the thing the demons have to be able to see and touch to navigate accurately. And so that's why spawners all have to be touching it in some way or another. So that's as folks who have tried to build custom geo for the first time have discovered, you can't take these and put them on top of a custom geo object. So you're sitting there going, well, how is it then that I can climb up into these castles and stuff, or these towers that the folks like Watts the Builder or whatever, and there's monsters up there? This is how they're doing it right here. They're using a spawner hooked up to a teleporter that's sitting on a bit of custom geo, and that's how they do it. And as you saw today as well, another thing it does is you can just teleport monsters into the middle of the air and they'll just sort of drop. You can do this with virtually any monster, but caveat, some of them operate weirdly and differently. So for example, well, I mean, not weirdly, but I mean, if you teleport, like, say, a Lost Soul or a Keiko Demon in this fashion, then, they'll just sort of sit there, that's fine for a minute before they kind of do their thing. Anyway, and, okay, we'll just move on. But the point is that this is how you do it. You can get a monster pretty much anywhere in your map, and they'll just drop from that location. Here's the thing, though. With this technique, you'll notice when I was spawning these two guys up, there was a 1 second delay before they hit the teleporter. And they also made that red flower happen. You're like, well, how do I hide the red flower? There's two ways. The first is you can take your spawner and move it in a whole other room. And I mean, the cool thing about this technique is you can have, like, if you've got some complex code or even just some simple code or whatever you got that's triggering your monsters to come out, right? By using teleporters, you can basically have all that. You can have your spawners. You can have, like, say, one spawner that's just sort of sitting right here, and use multiple and hook it up to like multiple teleporters to send the monsters wherever you need them in your map. You could there's a number of things you can do with this, but the point is that you can have your spawners in one room and your teleporters in a whole other room, and then nobody sees the red flower thing, the spawn effect. That said, you're still going to get that 1 second delay when you do it. So, and of course, a lot of you are saying, well, yeah, but this one's right here. How did you do it with this one? Okay, so, well, the secret is that, by default, every single time a monster spawns from this, they want to use that red flower spawny effect. You have to turn it off, and you do that over here in the spawn encounter node. You'll see use teleport visual effect, you set it to false. And so what that does is it makes it so that the very instant it's triggered, just boom, you have a demon. And then the very instant demon is triggered, boom, they go to the teleporter. So, like, it becomes like, I mean, it's not instantaneous, but it's close enough to instantaneous for government work. Holy cow. And so it just immediately, the monster pops up, boom, gets sent to the teleporter. Oh, what's all this stuff on the teleporter, you may ask? Okay, well, this is how I jazzed up the effect here. There's a couple things you can do here. So the first is upon your demon arriving, why not have the destination triggering a hazard? Well, I almost showed off the second thing. So anyway, you got your teleport destination. On arrived, you pick your teleport destination. On arrive, you have it enable a hazard, like an orb explosion or something fun like that. You have some sort of effect that comes up when the demons come up, And that way, you're basically creating your own spawn effect. And better yet, you can have your teleport destination in mid-air or whatever, and just have like a poof, or you could have them coming out of a wall and like have a blood splash come out or something whenever they shoot out or something. Cool things like that. You can just have these. You can create your own spawn effects with this technique. There's another thing you can do, and that's this, the launch pad. Now, what I did was I created this launch pad, and because I'm lazy, I just set the color to black. Any of these, you're sitting there and you wonder, how do I get rid of this color? I mean, you can sit there and turn it to show on start equals false and all this other stuff, but me personally, because I'm just weird that way, I just set the color to black because I'm lazy. So, and that just makes it completely invisible, regardless. And even if it is set to show for whatever reason, it will still be invisible. So this launch pad is set so that again, well, actually, it's not set for on arrival because I made it so that it's always on, and it just launches any AI that touches it. So what happens is upon the demon arriving, the arrival triggers this hazard, which causes an explosion, and also triggers this launch pad, which shoots the demon forward. So you get this cool thing with the teleporter, where you send your demon into there, and you created not only your own spawn effect, but your own sort of like way for the demons to enter the field of battle. You can have say for example, you have, imagine, if you use this launch pad trick, say you've got like walls, you built like a fort or something, and there's like walls. You could have this thing where you spawn the demons so that they get launched over the wall. So it's like they're like jumping in, like ah, like you can have the one scene from Game of Thrones where all the friggin' zombie Nightwalker or the zombie White Walkers are all piling over the wall, kind of thing. Or I think Daisy or was it the War Z did it as well or something. I don't know. You can have cool stuff like that. The point is, there's a lot of things you can do by using this technique with teleporters to have your dudes enter the field battle. You just mix and match all the different features of SNAPMAP and have them triggered when the dude comes in through the teleporter. Now, one thing you want to be careful with is if you're going to use effects, make sure you set the damage to 0, because if you don't, then you will harm or kill the demon that comes out the other end, and it's no good to you dead. It can't attack the player if it's dead. So just be careful about that. That's all you got to know. So hopefully that covers all the sort of basic and there's some basic things you can do to fool around with teleporters in your maps. And if you have any other questions about teleporters or other ways of getting your demons into the field of battle, or really anything, you want me to make a video about something, let me know in the comments here, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.